And we are live. WrestlePurists AEW Dynamite review. Quick little change around. AO had some technical difficulties, some weather conditions not going his way this evening, and he tried his best, tried to get the power pack powered up and stuff like that. If you saw on one of his Twitter accounts, he tweeted about his issues he's been having, but unfortunately, he is not here. So this is the trio we're going with today. Myself, Marcus, as usual. We got Viva Lajana in as our special guest this week as well, because we got no Charlie either. She's at a festival or something, doing some white people stuff, you know. We wish her the best. I'm sure she's at some I think it's like a what is it? It's like some sort of festival that I've not heard of until she brought it up to me recently. But yeah, man, we're gonna try. There's no replacing AO and Charlie. You know, there's two special talents, but we're gonna try to give you guys a good review nonetheless. And yeah, it was a pretty decent episode of Dynamite last night. I think they're on a pretty good run at the moment. I don't think it was as good as previous weeks, and I don't even think it was like a blowaway episode like that. But it was a pretty decent episode. It wasn't like the biggest happenings and stuff, but I don't know. Just real quickly, Marcus, the only regular who's made it this week. What's going on with you? What did you think of Dynamite last night? Just in a couple words.
Piggybacking, it was a pretty good episode. I mean, wasn't great. It was pretty good. It was steady. Got done when it needed to. I love the opening. The ending was cool. Middle had a little bit of filler, but I had fun with the trios match because the conglomeration is always great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Well, in this case, it was Sportscasting FTR, but you know, same difference. And then, I've had a hell of a week. I survived the hurricane. Shout out all my Florida.
Hey, what's going on over there, man?
Bro,
I was saying to these guys before we went live, like, this is just why everyone especially in the wrestling Twitter world, like everyone laughs at the Brits, like haha, the Brits and Brits are bad. And it's like, I don't know, man. You don't have all these natural disasters and stuff going on like you guys do over in the USA, you know. Chris's internet and his Wi-Fi was an entire bit throughout his whole time with WrestlePurists on the podcast. Like, it was like 50-50 chance whether he could make it through a whole show. AO is the latest. You've just been through a storm, but you've made it. You know,
it'd be like that. So I'll just break it down, because especially if you live in a coastal state like I do. Like, hurricane season is just a part of your life. Like, most out of the year, it's like 98 degrees. It's all sunny beaches, but middle of August, randomly, a fucking Category 4 hurricane might hit you. But otherwise, we good. We straight. And with Chris, Greg Abbott just hates Texans, so their power grid just stinks, unfortunately.
Poor Chris, man.
It is what it is. Shout out, Chris. Love you, bro.
Technical difficulties, you know. But yeah, Jenna, our special guest, like I said earlier, I wouldn't class myself as a special guest. Everyone's bored of me at this point. But Jenna's definitely a special guest on this Dynamite review. How are you today? And just real quick, what did you think overall of Dynamite last night?
I'm good. You know, the build for Wembley is a long one. So I feel like this is one of the episodes where it's like, again, I'm not blown away by it. But it did what needed to be done. It was like, you know, we're still building. We're still gaining heat for certain things. I would give it like a B- teetering onto a C. It was okay.
That's about right, actually.
That seems fair.
It needed to be a placeholder. It was a placeholder.
That seems fair. I'm not even... I have the feeling that it was a pretty decent episode, as I was just saying. You know, pretty decent episode. Nothing too blow away. But like, in terms of having like actual thoughts, I'm not 100% sure what I thought of each segment, because as many of you can probably guess, I wasn't even sure I was going to be on this show until about 15 minutes ago. So I'm going to try and navigate us through it. I haven't got any notes, so I am using the Wrestling Observer's Brian Alvarez's notes to keep me on track, so shout out to them. And I mean, we got a couple of super chats, so let's just do those real quick while we have a few more people filing in. And yeah, man. Anjan PN, $2. Appreciate it as always. Don't badmouth my precious Pookie TK Uwu. A few emojis right there.
Precious Pookie TK.
Pookie is crazy.
People have been very spiteful to Tony Khan on Twitter this week, I think. You know?
Deserved, though.
I mean,
in some ways, yes. Other ways, like,
I think it'll light a fire under him.
Hopefully, because that has worked in the past with Tony, you know.
That's very true.
It's just like, does that fire result in something erratic or something actually good?
Right.
You know.
Like, let's pump the brakes slightly on the fire. Like, we gotta see how that goes. But I haven't hated any of the television in the last like month or so. It's just directions in terms of like the big scale of things. It's stuff that I wouldn't do, and a lot of people probably wouldn't do. But it is what it is. It can always be
It
better.
is what it is. And again, $2. Maybe I'm all blanking here. What's WWE Elite mean?
Remember that period where people thought they might leave last year before they resigned?
Oh, WWE. Okay, WWE Elite. Okay, wasn't a bad thing after all. Hashtag. Wait, what was it?
Just blanked out.
Oh, okay, yeah. GFY TK. Go fuck yourself, TK.
Remember Chris Jericho trying to get that trademark?
Oh man, imagine there is. I mean, in an alternative reality, there is a reality where the AEW never started and they just went to WWE. There's an alternative reality where Tony Khan decides to go with CM Punk instead of the Elite. But they're around, man, and I'm missing Kenny Omega, bro. I know there's been some like slight hopeful updates, like Dave Meltzer thinks he'll be back by the end of the year, and he had surgery like kind of recently. It seems like that was successful as well, but
like May, I think
it's like food without salt, bro. AEW without Kenny Omega, it's not the same, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter if it's like objectively good TV that's going on or like everything is actually really good. Kenny just hits something different. He just makes you feel something different when he's on TV. He just feels like the biggest star in the world when he's allowed to be that. So I miss him dearly.
He's a different animal, man. It's like I did the tweet on a shout out engagement for me, but I did the tweet on the WrestlePurists account where I was like, now that Roman's back, who is everyone most excited to see make a return? And Kenny and Jamie Hayter were undisputably like the top two names that people are looking forward to. So, yeah, man, the world is ready. Especially Jamie, bro. Like, I hope she can at least, I don't know, show her face at Wembley. Even if she isn't taking a bump or something, like it would be nice if she can at least show her face at Wembley.
Yeah. Especially her being back when the women's division is in the best spot it's been in the company's history. Like, I really want to see how she fits in.
Yeah, big fan of Jamie. I think most AEW fans are, to be honest. She was on such a roll as well at the time that she went down. So
I missed her. I need her back like tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's been like radio silent ever since she went down too. That's the other part.
I like that though, because I feel like, well, I mean, I guess we'll see like how like the dirt sheets and everything come about when it's time for her to return, because I like returns that are kept under wraps. So much. I mean, obviously, being part of WP, like sometimes we're the ones.
Yeah, it's true though. That's
but it's fun when it's like, damn, oh my god, we didn't even know. So they keep the wraps for her and Kenny.
Yeah, well, wrestlers are like, they're so online that you know what they're doing damn near every other step of the way. I like staying out the mix.
Yeah, man, it's just a different time now. Everyone talks to someone talks to someone, and something gets out or some sort of little hint. But yeah, the stuff with Jamie, she's been very under wraps. There hasn't been many updates at all. Obviously, it was pretty serious injuries that she's been dealing with. But obviously, Kenny Omega's situation is a bit more transparent, but even still, it's not like we know an exact date. So, wishing both of them speedy recoveries. We miss them. We miss them dearly. Dan Walker, £5. Appreciate you as always. The real reason Monty is here is because he got a 5-page dossier on the Jarrett versus Danielson match. I know he's fired up for it. I love the match. I don't know about 5 pages, but
no, it's not 5 pages. It's 10 pages. Knowing you.
It's gonna need some editing.
Brian Danielson, man.
Just real wrestler, bruv. Chinatown Spurs, $10. AEW is in this weird state for me. Feels like Feels like they're feeding me an incredible cheeseburger, but have all the ingredients to serve me a 14-ounce ribeye with a black truffle béarnaise in the kitchen.
Yeah,
They've had.
I
Now
agree.
go ahead, Jenna.
That's
It's weird, the analogy, because that shit, I feel like you're just really hungry for saying it, but
making me hungry.
it's true though in a weird way. You have the big three signing of Ospreay, Okada, and Mercedes, and you have people who are going to come back or who were returned, like MJF, Britt Baker, and now you have Jamie Hayter, Kota Ibushi when Kenny comes back, hopefully. And then you had like the return of Jack Perry. I feel like now more than ever, while you have like their counterpart of WWE having like this Renaissance era, now it's their time to actually step up and be consistent and actually treat the company and these top tier players that they have as like royalty. Push them forward, make it seem serious, make it not seem like, oh, just the alternative, make it like true competition. Just they have to do that internally first though before they
Yeah, like it's like I don't even hate what's going on. I think it's quite good, but it's like you have the capacity to be fully at 100% and you're operating about like 85.
That part,
yeah. So it's like it could always be better. Like that's something that should always be mentioned. And I don't need people to have meltdowns over it where it's like, oh no, it's great. Yes, I don't disagree, but it could be better. That's okay.
Way better.
You
Yeah.
know?
AEW, I think in terms of generally speaking, I think it's hard. You can't say like, oh, they're doing everything wrong, and you definitely can't say they're doing everything right. It's just that when you look at some of them, when you look at their main players, I think right now you'd say Swerve and Ospreay in the men's division. You know, it's like they're doing like a pretty good job with them, like especially Swerve, man. Like the way that he's run with the ball since becoming champion, the way he's been presented. Ospreay, of course, just all this hype, and he's been able to live up to it since coming into the promotion, and that's just carried him to as far as he's got so far. It's just more so like, in general, top to bottom, it's like there's loads of things that just don't quite have the focus that you want them to, or things like someone will get hot, you'll want them to get a proper push, and then they kind of don't, and then it's like it's just this weird thing, and it's roundabout. And I guess now that we're into year 5, that a lot of people have been complaining recently, more AEW fans, and it's all in good faith, of kind of like guys like Daniel Garcia, Takeshita, maybe like Private Party or Top Flight, like guys who was pretty much as soon as they burst onto the scene in AEW, people are like, okay, this guy is going places, you know, or this team's going places, and it's like we're still there now, you know. Like it's one day Garcia is going to be a guy, Takeshita is going to be a guy, or Hobbs is going to be a guy, or whoever it may be. And I know some of these people have had injuries and whatnot, and Hobbs is currently out now with an injury, but it's just kind of I don't know. It kind of feels like circles sometimes. It's like Garcia will get given a bone like every 6 months or something.
Yeah, like when he first came on with the MJF program, I'm like, you ain't fooling me. Like, who's he beating so far?
Yeah, a lot of Garcia's fans have been like beaten into submission in that sense now, where it's like this MJF feud comes around, huge angle with him being wrote off television. It's just kind of like, okay, like we'll see if they can keep it up when he comes back, you know, or is it just going to be another like 2 months of Garcia, you know? Yeah. So yeah, like there's just issues with it, but you can't say that they're terrible at it all the way around, because like look what they've done with Swerve. You know, it's like when they've got an actual focus plan for someone, like this is where we want this person to be by the end of the year. They can pull it off. They've done it with Mariah May too.
Yeah,
you know, she came in with a real plan. Like, we're signing Mariah May to do this thing with Tony Storm. They've stuck to it, and it's worked. Who would have thought? You know,
it's like, arguably the hottest thing they've got going.
Rocket science, you know.
Yeah, just be committed to stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top to bottom of the card, not just your Swerve and your Ospreays. Like, fans will really appreciate that if they can see people like emerging from the undercard to the mid card to the main event. You know.
Yeah,
that's what I say internally first. I feel like if they don't get their affairs in order internally with how, you know, making sure that they're locking in their talents, that they may not want to make the jump. Writing is a big part of it. I tweeted something about that earlier today because it's like sometimes you have to blame the writing and not the wrestlers, because wrestlers and professional wrestlers, they can only do what they have written for them. So if you're not getting used, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to see if this place is going to give me money and they're going to use me. So I feel like Tony Khan has to make a lot of crucial decisions about how he wants the company to move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just too many guys are on a hamster wheel, and you don't want that to happen with guys like Takeshita. Like, he's a megastar. Like, look what he's doing in G1 right now.
Exactly.
They have to have a more like business approach to these things. I feel like it can't be like, oh, I don't want to hurt this person's feelings. You have to be business.
It's wrestling. Everybody's feeling get hurt.
Literally. So
It's also Brian Danielson was on the that Gorilla Position podcast, interview podcast, whatever you want to call it. It was a good video, man. And he was talking a bit about kind of just like the infrastructure of differences between AEW and WWE. And he's not saying that they need to do what WWE does, but he's just kind of like Brian was just talking about, like, when you go to WWE at the start of the week, you get told you go talk to talent relations, and you get told you're doing this, and this week. This is what you're doing on this TV. These are the signings that you need to do this week. Whereas, and you were saying, like, in AEW, it's just not like that. They're still working on, it's still a new company. It's still in their first 5 years, and they still haven't quite found the infrastructure that you'd expect in places like you see in WWE. But on the flip side, obviously, he loves AEW because of the style of wrestling, and obviously he spoke about all of the positives of AEW, because there is positives and negatives. I just think, I'm not saying AEW should copy WWE's infrastructure or structure, but they should take note of, like, just kind of the organization side of it, know. And if you've got that structure, then you can focus on the things that Jana was talking about, is like having plans for people. And it's like, where do we want to be with this person in 6 months? Where do we want to be with this person in 12 months? Okay, Will Washington, you're working with him, write some stuff, X, Y, Z, But kind of feels like the kind of, I don't know, obviously the plan stuff, but it does feel like sometimes they are like not playing it week by week, but just kind of
on the cuff.
TK like definitely has his phases. Do you know what I mean? He has his phases. Like, see how fans are on his back at the moment. Like, fans are on him at the moment, so he might, like we was just talking earlier, like he might light a fire under him, and he might go like really match heavy or something for the next 3 weeks, and then he'll change his mind and he'll do something else. He'll change his approach slightly again, and then so it's, I don't know, they struggle to build consistency, I think, in the past, I don't know, like 18 months or something, because like Tony just kind of, it feels like he changes his approach every like 6 weeks or something, even if it's just slightly. I don't know. I'm waffling, like I said. I've got no notes or anything.
We're about 18 and a half minutes in, my brother.
Yeah, we got super chats,
Let's keep it rolling.
Anjan PN, another super chat. Appreciate you. Imagine having the greatest roster and getting so little out of them. The top guys don't have set direction for All In. Shake my head. Hashtag not my gutter. Not my gutter. Hashtag not my gutter.
Are you good?
Hashtag no faith.
No confidence. Sorry.
What I'll say in terms of direction.
Good.
So that Casino Gauntlet match, yeah, it's like, I think some people will see some of the names in that match and be like, why doesn't this person have a singles match or like a real direction for like Wembley? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it does seem that like that Gauntlet match is going to be like, okay, we didn't quite have a story for this person, so they're going to go in here, and X, Y, and Z. So, I think that'll kind of highlight some of the potential issues with like keeping the focus on a lot of their top stars.
Yeah, because like, will that match be really fun? Yes. Would I put this person? Will I put that person in it? When I could just give them a real direction for the biggest show you're going to have all year? No, I wouldn't.
Exactly.
Todd Bowley, $5. Monty, I've signed Ricky Starks, Daniel Garcia, Motor City Machine Guns, Wardlow, all of the Hurt Business, and Becky Lynch. You think we have enough players for the year?
This is
It
a big
doesn't
pool, but I
matter how
don't know
many
who this.
players you have. It's how you use them. That's the problem. That's a big problem. Oh my God, this is the pet peeve I have for me. I do pop when wrestlers make a jump somewhere, but if they're only like used for like a month just for that pop, then why did you even bring them in the first place? Have a plan for them. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God, it gets me so sick. It gets me, I can't. But
And you can have a real plan for them to start out, but like, what happens with the fallout?
exactly, that's why a lot of
Then
these
what?
people who jump over, it's like, oh my God, they came. Oh my God. And then a month or two after, they're in catering, babe, eating all the chocolate chip muffins and all the blueberry scones and stuff.
And I'm sure the Muppets good, but I think they want to be on TV wrestling and doing really cool things. So
Literally.
I'm saving that. And as the sorting $5, Swerve has sold the match better than Brian. JR and Swerve segment was the best thing on the show. Britt dissing Mone leaving WWE doesn't work in AEW. What we thinking? What we thinking, Jana?
Okay.
That's all you.
I don't think, okay, so for the Swerve portion of this, I don't think he sold it better. I feel like what could be giving off that vibe is the fact that Brian kind of has his own side thing with Jeff Jarrett. So, and also he came into it with the whole like, I don't need to win a championship. Wow, Swerve is like, I'm going to take this seriously. I'm about to end your whole career. I feel like now he's waking up. I feel like how the storyline is, how they probably wanted it to pan out, is that now it's like Daniel knows he has something to lose. But it's going to become like, oh, do I betray my family? I promised my daughter, or do I like beat this guy up? As for the Brit part, I'm not going to really go that deep into it. I don't think necessarily that it doesn't work. I think the fact that she wasn't there in person and that it was on satellite just didn't make it connect the way it could have if it was an in-person face-to-face promo battle. Because at the end of the day, Mercedes could only do so much with somebody who got suspended. No tea, no shade.
You said not me.
We'll get to it. Bam, $2. Marcus, always good. Marcus, goat emoji. Always good to see Jana and Monty with a reunion, Jack. Appreciate it.
The great descriptor.
Bam, $5. When Goat is back, I want him to get his solo legend run, winning big matches without outside help. Also, he can have his golden lover tags every 6 weeks.
I'll move that back to every 10 weeks, brother, because Bush needs a little top weight, bro.
I just need Ibushi to be 100% healthy. Like,
Stay off your ankles.
You're not 100% just because he's there. Kenny will always be there. Make sure your ankles are intact, okay?
Like, bro, I love you, Ibushi, but you're 42 years old, my boy. You wrestle a crazy style for all these years. You don't take time off, and when you do, you still find a way to get on your damn ankles and break them again. We don't need an American Fuji repeat, brother. We don't. I ain't trying to see you like that.
I actually agree with like the sentiment of, when Kenny comes back, don't just like put him in golden lovers, because that's just kind of like a waste of a potential solo legends run, like what Bam's saying in the super chat. But like, hey man, Kota Ibushi looked okay in that exhibition match like a few weeks ago, whenever it was. So
he did, but
I'm gonna naively believe that he's getting better and he's gonna come back and not be. Because honestly, bro, I was thinking about it. Like his AEW run so far is like legit, like one of, in terms of in-ring performance wise, like he's legit had like one of the worst runs. Like it's not good, bro. Like, and it's Kota Ibushi, man. It's a legend of the business who built his legend of being a phenomenal in-ring performer. So it's like, I'm hopeful that he can at least become a shadow of himself again. Because
he needs to be healthy, 100%. Like, honestly, I feel like if he came back too early, it's gonna be very reminiscent of when Shane McMahon had that little segment at WrestleMania.
And once again,
and he like tour or whatever. Like, be healthy for all wrestlers, not just Ibushi. Don't come back just for the sake of like wanting to finish a story or getting a pop. Be healthy so that you can have
that story gonna be there when we come back. That pop gonna be there when you come back. And when we say 100%, we mean 100%. Not I'm really about 88%, but I could probably wrestle tonight. No, especially you, Ibushi, 100%. 100 in Spanish, if you can understand Spanish.
He's got to have a six-pack again.
Exactly. Like, we're not going to get 2017 Ibushi ever again, but can we get something in the middle?
Yeah, just like that, but I don't know. I'm hoping for the best at the moment. Like I said, that exhibition match he had, that 5-minute match he had the other week, he looked pretty decent in there. He wasn't like falling all over the place with broken ankles like the last time we saw him. So yeah, man. Kale, 20 pesos. Appreciate it as always. Condolences to Charlie. It looks like Page versus Jeff.
Thank God you didn't just see that message. How dare you?
I still under the belief that's not the match at the moment. So, but I completely understand why. Pretty much anyone who's watched AEW TV thinks that could potentially be what's coming. But yeah, it still could be. You know, I haven't heard of anything absolutely locked in, but like I said, I'm of the belief that is not the Wembley match. What about you, Marcus?
If it is, I will laugh and also cry. I'll put it that way. Just like, bruh, Hangman should probably be in the main event, but we're not gonna get that, unfortunately. And the domino effect of that is, where does he go from there? So this is why we're in the hodgepodge situation that we're in. But it is what it is.
Hey, man. No. Showtime Spurs. $2, appreciate you. Serbia versus America, 5 stars, real grabs. I saw a lot.
Never a doubt. Never a doubt. Never a doubt. They gave us a fight. Jokic, you did your thing. You was out here hooping. But LeBron, Ramon, James Sr., and Wardell Stephen Curry did their thing. Kevin Wayne Durant did his thing too. Congrats on your potential bronze medal, but we smoking on Nikola Jokic. We smoking on Niko Bellic. We smoking on the Serbian flag tonight. USA, oh say can you motherfucking see?
Shout out the Olympics. And that's the salt and $2. I know white women tears when I see them. Ain't fooling me. Who's that? What's that about?
Right, talking about Britt.
Britt.
I mean, Britt's Britt.
Britt's extremely funny.
We'll get to that.
She's a very funny woman that pops me, unfortunately.
Not funny,
however you look at it.
Funny, weird.
Yes. I mean, I was talking funny, but you know.
I mean,
bam, $2. Hashtag we want Hangman. Are they goat horse emojis? They are horse emojis, and he says dragon is overrated. Well, hold on, bro. Hold on.
No.
Thank you.
Y'all like dragons that can't walk?
Hold on now.
You like
we can do a peaceful protest. You know, we don't have to slander the dragon.
This is peaceful. If you really want a harmful protest, I can show you a harmful protest. But nah, y'all like dragons are like, oh, I want to be with my kids. Man, fuck them kids. It's time to win championships.
Birdie and Buddy.
They can watch. They'll be all right. They tough, right? Playing people that ain't grow up about their fathers. They came out good.
I have a feeling he's gonna end up wrestling. He'll be like, "Daddy,
he ain't never gonna stop. No.
Literally."
All right, last super chat. Then we're gonna dive straight into Dynamite. Then, bam, $2. Appreciate you as always. Kenny better get his win back over MAGA JF.
And he should be Brian when he comes back. We need to run that match back at some point.
There's a lot of matches that we need to
give me Kenny versus Darby, something. Like
it's like the last dance. It's like with Kenny.
I want him to come
back. It's like, if he comes back healthy, he's still like 40 or something now. It's like there's definitely that window is getting smaller and smaller if you want to do like big time Kenny Omega world champion, big time singles matches, baby
But that's why he
faces,
needs
no
to be
Don Callis.
heel. He can't do the baby face stuff. He needs to be like mean to people.
Well, I mean, he can still do that without people
Kenny.
being a babyface. Plus, he's getting cheered because one, he's Kenny, and two, almost died.
I've wanted it the whole time. Even when he first won the world title, like when AEW first started, like my vision of Kenny Omega as their top guy was always as a babyface, like just having unbelievable matches in the main events, pay-per-views, you know. Yeah. And he did have great matches. He had a great run as world champion, but he was a heel, and there was Don Callis, and he just wasn't. It was great, but there's still other things I want to see him do, you know.
I've said so many times with that heel run. And what we've gotten since then, Kenny Omega, that actually bolster Kenny Omega's Hall of Fame case because he tricked people into thinking Don Callis was a good manager. Like, he really tricked people because all Don had to do was just kind of be out there and do whatever. The Elite did all the talking for themselves for the most part. Like, it was all them. They made sure they were in the forefront, and Don was just ancillary.
He should now Dakota when he comes back. I don't really want to see the Golden Lovers. Have them fight it out. Like, have them duke it out. And then, like, when either of them is, like, close to retiring, then ramp that up again. But I want to see them fight each other. I don't want them to be like, oh, yeah, my friend. No, fight me. Like, hello. Please.
Sassy.
Just want to see all violent.
All right. AEW Dynamite. Can't remember what city they were in.
Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Beautiful. We are opening up with MJF making his entrance to defend his AEW American title. No, it was an eliminator, actually, my bad. Versus Kyle Fletcher. And the big MJF USA flag is now part of his entrance. I can't lie. It did pop me just a little bit.
I got to admit, it popped me a little bit too.
But yeah, Kyle Fletcher. And every time Kyle Fletcher's been put in these positions to have big single matches, he has definitely delivered matches that the AEW audience has got into. They get behind him, and they just feel like they're just good matches. You know what I mean? I thought MJF was really good here, just plain heel. I think that's just kind of his bag, to be honest. Like, I think he can do the babyface stuff, but it's just I just don't think his matches, and I just don't think he's kind of like his thought process and his layouts and stuff. I just don't think they hit the same level as when he's a heel. He's just naturally a heel when it comes to in-ring work, I think. And again, Kyle Fletcher made a good account of himself here. A good match, a good way to get started on AEW Dynamite. MJF, of course, got the win after Kyle Fletcher refused to cheat with Don Callis' screwdriver. MJF hit the low blow, kangaroo kick, hit a finisher, and
brainbuster.
That was it. Yeah, brainbuster.
Why is it I don't know, but
yeah, it's became a thing now, hasn't it? That good old American brainbuster. But anyway, MJF beats Kyle Fletcher and then beats him down after, makes him bleed. Will Ospreay comes out and it's a whole thing, you know. But I thought it was a pretty strong start, Marcus. What did you make of the match and angle to get Dynamite started?
Kyle Fletcher, good. And I'll say this to the people in the back that still got their ears closed. Kyle Fletcher is a hell of a wrestler when you don't got dusty, dirty-ass motherfuckers telling you that he's not. Every time you go out there as a singles guy, he delivers. And he's gotten so much better and so much more confident in himself. Like, you can look at him a year ago. Hell, even look at him when he wrestled Ospreay on Dynamite after Revolution versus now. Like, he wrestled like a strong baby face. MJF did a lot of good, bumping and feeding for him and ate shit when he had to.
Yeah.
It was pretty strong work from both guys. Kyle Fletcher looked amazing. His moveset is crunchy as all hell. You see why they like him. He's 25, 26 years old. Great look. Great in the ring. Like, he's getting more confident. Like, he's a good wrestler. And I'm tired of people saying that he's not. Period. And as much as I don't like MJF, I will straight up say that. I have no problem telling you that. Again, he did his job. He wrestled like a territory heel in the 80s. Just healed it up, did what he had to do in terms of getting his own shit in. The kangaroo kick stuff was annoying as hell, but at least Fletcher sold it like death when he hit it. And the brainbuster, please get rid of it as your finisher. I'm begging you. I'd rather you just use the heat seeker, and I don't even like that much either.
Yeah, but I'm not a fan of the heat seeker myself.
It looks so bad depending on who he's trying to hit it on, but it could have worked here. But again, strong match. Shout out Kyle Fletcher. MJF, I'll begrudgingly giving you respect here too. Don Callis, get those screwdrivers away from me and my family.
Yeah, the finish was a bit, I guess I'll get into it a little bit. But Jana, what do you make of Kyle Fletcher? Are you a fan, and what did you think of the match?
I'm a Fletch light, okay? Let me just
I ain't mad at you for what you do. I ain't gonna call myself a Fletch light because I'm a grown ass man, but
Well,
No, I feel like that performance really solidified him. And I tweeted this yesterday. He's going to be a top guy in the coming months if they continue booking him in these positions where he's being used. To be with someone like MJF, who knows how to take attention away from you because he's hell-bent on always getting heat in any way possible. And for him to do it in the way he did was gold. The fact that they're still playing into like the Callis family and how they don't really want to resort to Don Callis's methods of victory to like maintain their own like moral code or whatever is cool. He's a great baby face and he held his own. And did I love the ending? No. But I love the part. I felt like it was cinema. I don't know if it was planned or not. Will Ospreay comes out in this pure powder white shirt. Comes out. Fletcher's bleeding. He puts his head here. Then you just see blood all over the place. They should have put more into it instead of having their backstage segment where Kyle Fletcher is like, "Why haven't you used the driver yet?" They should have had that actually on TV instead of having that on social media. It was a great match though. MJF, I feel like when he's not trying to force heat by going out into the audience every other week and like doing something to a fan, he's in his bag when he doesn't try too hard. So he just needs to focus on that. But I think it was a pretty solid start.
This was probably the strongest MJF match since this title run started for me. The Ospreay match was what it was. You love it or you hate it. The Templario match was just okay, which is unfortunate because I love Templario.
Yeah.
This was very good. Like this was the best of all those things. Like get your heat, let the babyface do what they gotta do. Don't fuck around too much. Get to the finish, and we're good.
Yeah, don't need to fuck around too much. Like we've already spoke about the finish a little bit. Like I just think in both companies now we've kind of like lost the plot with like this in-match drama. It's like we don't have to spend so much time on it. Like anyone who watched Worldwide will know what I said about the like all the the drama and the dialogue in the Punk versus Drew match with Seth as the referee and stuff. Yeah, and it's just like they're trying to get points across with this dialogue that it doesn't need to be 30 seconds of dialogue, bro. So like taking this as an example, Fletcher versus MJF. When Don Callis comes to the ring and slides a screwdriver in, Kyle Fletcher doesn't need to pick up the screwdriver, look at it, look at MJF for fucking 20 seconds. Like, don't do it. Don't do it. Like, it's like we don't need it. He can literally, Don Callis can slide the screwdriver in. Fletcher could have just looked at it or kicked it away or something in like the space of 3 seconds. You still get the same message across. Do you know what I mean? Like, Fletcher refused to cheat and use the screwdriver. MJF takes advantage and hits him with the thing. Like, we don't need 30, 45 seconds or how I'm probably exaggerating because it just felt so long. But like, we just don't need all of that in the middle of a match, Yeah,
it takes.
Whereas on the flip side, I'm with Jana on the post-match stuff, like Ospreay coming out in a white shirt, grabbing his bloodied friend. You can take your time with that shit then. Do you know what I mean? But if you're doing like this, I just feel like we've lost the plot with like the in-match drama,
Yeah,
it feels like it's Roman Reigns' fault, even though I think he's phenomenal. But like,
as much as I love Roman, like that kind of kills people.
It brings me back to like the Thunderdome era where they had like the cinematic matches. And it was like always that moment of like somebody would like pick up a weapon like a baby face and Michael Cole would be like, "Oh my God, don't do that." And he would be like, "Girl,
it's like, I know you gotta do it.
Relax."
I know you gotta do it because you're in the Thunderdome. But guys, you're on the road now. You're for the people. We're not. I know we're wrestling fans, but we're not slow. We know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly, man.
And the other part is like, I know you want to do the whole face moral code thing, but dude, it's MJF.
Literally,
Do it. He's the biggest piece of shit in the company. He literally murdered someone like several weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Do it. No one's gonna look at him
though. He pulls out his pinky ring and he's just like, "Girl, I'm just gonna hit you with it." Like he doesn't take it out and he's like, "Oh my god, my ring!" Like, stop, please.
Now you could do something where like he does try to use it, but MJF just low blows him and outsmarts him. You can do that, fine. No one looks stupid that way. Mm-hmm. But I don't need the whole like hands are shaking, will he do it, will he won't thing. And it's the biggest piece of shit in your company. Do it or don't.
Yeah, it's like I said, like Mark said, look, we're not. Yeah, wrestling fans probably are a little bit slow, but like we're not that slow. We're not that slow. We don't need it. I don't know. Like I said already, it's like we don't need it so blatantly obvious sometimes. So you can be a lot more subtle and just have faith that your audience will pick up on these subtleties and stuff, especially if it's shit like the screwdriver or like in the Punk Drew match, like that whole there was like 30
bracelet.
Yeah, bro, like when Punk realized Seth had the bracelet, there was like 40 seconds of dialogue, bro. Like we know why CM Punk is pissed at Seth. It's because he's got the bracelet on. We don't need 40 seconds of fucking back and forth before Punk hits him with the GTX. Like we don't need all that shit. But anyway, this is Dynamite review.
It was so dumb to me. Like, girl, you could go to Michael's and recreate that exact charm bracelet for like $15. I'm done with lore. Keep it for backstage segments or promos. Thank you. And
we don't need all this ham-fisted bullshit in my wrestling. Keep the family away from
it. But yeah, okay. So yeah, as Kyle Fletcher's all bloodied up on the floor, Don Callis comes out and he's like to Will Ospreay, like, "Where was you, Will?" Like because Don Callis, the little sneaky bastard, had locked Will Ospreay in his locker room with like stage cases and stuff like that. But yeah, this kind of custody battle of Kyle Fletcher between Will Ospreay and Don Callis is it looks like it's a thing that they're quite blatantly driving home. So we'll see where that goes. And next up we had the Glamour, Mariah May versus Viva Van. This was all right. It went through an ad break, which kind of dragged it out a bit, considering it was. You kind of expect a match like this to be a squash, Mariah May against a relatively unknown, but it did go for an ad break, so it did go a couple minutes, but it was whatever. It was all about the angle after, really, wasn't it?
It was a stay busy match. It wasn't nothing. The angle was what it was.
It was needed for progression, really. Add heat. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah, and after the match, Mariah May, she had a gift. And she used like this big black board thing, and she unwraps it, and it's like it's an image of Tony and Mariah. It's an image of Tony and Mariah, I believe. Mm-hmm. And she's all happy about it, but on the back it says "Die Mariah, die." Obviously, it's off Tony Storm, and the crowd obviously pops for it first. And then she turns it around. She realizes what's going on, and yeah. It's Tony Storm comes out of nowhere to start brawling, and another good brawl, man. I kind of like the 5 that they used to have in the brawls.
I love the collision, bro.
I can't. The picture, the Die Mariah Die in the picture was very Tony Khan coded. That is very much a tweet that he would have like put out to respond to like Vince McMahon or something like 2 years ago. I was like, this has Tony Khan written all over it. Die. I was like, come on.
I was like, hold up.
I wish for this feud, even though it's been so good, I wish they would step away from like the entertainment aspect and make it more aggressive. In my opinion, because you had a heel turn that was disturbing. In my opinion, you had this girl getting beat with a heel. Keep the momentum going. They should have let Tony grab her and hit her with a heel a couple times, just for the love of the game.
They did the image of it
yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah, so. They used the image of when Mariah hit her with the shoe, and then the security pulled her off.
Mm-hmm. We're But yeah, I do agree. I do like the idea of it just being like just getting more and more like intense and just aggressive and violent, because as Jenna already said, it started off with such a violent angle, and one of my favorite things was that brawl from Collision where Tony's like, "Are you ready to die?" and it's just super intense and fired up, and that's the mood I want it to continue to grow in. So, I'm with you, Jenna.
They are good women, though. I love them.
Great women. Great women.
I love women beating each other up.
I can't say all that, but I love women.
Yeah, we love women at WrestlePurists. We've got a strong women's division ourselves. All right, next up, this caused a bit of controversy. Well, I won't say controversy, but a lot of people talking about it online. The Jack Perry vignette. So, because I'm watching on Fight, because I'm watching on Fight in Europe, I didn't see all the Taco Bell nonsense in the advert come up mid promo. Like, I just got the Jack Perry promo where he's talking to the screens and destroying the past and future, and he's talking about all that. And then I think it was like Sean Rossap or someone tweeted something like, "Did anyone else get a Taco Bell commercial on YouTube TV, or was it just me?" And next thing you know, I just see literally all of my friends in the US like, "What the hell? What just happened?" So, Marcus, can you please explain to me what happened?
So, Jack is mid talking about we all gotta make sacrifices, and all of a sudden there's a freaking Taco Bell ad that comes on talking about we're on sale. So this is what you gotta pay for. It was just a funny visual, a funny juxtaposition. Yeah. Shout out Taco Bell. I've been there many times, drunk as hell at 3 a.m. But I don't think I wanted to see it in the middle of a Jack Perry promo. That's just
so it's like Jack Perry talking about why are you guys willing to pay and sacrifice, and he just comes up with Taco Bell $7 chalupa.
Exactly, yes.
Oh man. I wonder what that must have been.
It must have
been a TNT issue.
That was so funny.
TBS, sorry.
That's happened before when they show baseball games and it'll cut to a commercial in the middle of an inning or something like that. They just mistimed the commercial jump.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say we didn't get it on Fight. We just got.
Yeah, we get it. You're from the UK. We get it.
I know it's beautiful. Everyone.
The one thing you have good. The one thing you did that one time that's good. We got you.
Everyone in the US on their knees for HBO Max to put the AEW library together. It's like we've got it, baby. We've already got it.
VPNs. You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you guys need. We should get a VPN. We need sponsors, man. I need to look into doing sponsors. We need to sponsor VPNs and Manscaped and what else are the really common podcast sponsors? Blue Chew.
Oh my god.
SRS
doing Blue Chew. Ibu and Rob doing a Manscaped promo.
Oh my god, this is what we need it, bro.
Just let all the Fortune 4 do it.
I'll get Chris out of retirement. I'll promise him that he can start Anime Purists or something in 2025. I'll get a big deal up to him, and we'll get some Manscaped.
Manscaped, shake your balls. You got to.
All right.
Anyway.
So yeah, Jack Perry cut a angry promo and smashed up a bunch of TVs.
Can you wrestle, please?
Oh, bro, you're not allowed to ask anyone in the elite to wrestle more. You're not allowed to do that. Speaking of which, Darby Allin cut a promo and saying, everyone's asking me why didn't I set Jack Perry on fire? And he was basically like, because if I set him on fire, he would have had an excuse not to show up at Wembley. So I don't care when and how much you wrestle Jack, but just make sure you show up at Wembley. And short but sweet promo from Darby. I haven't really got much to say about it. Shout out Darby. He's great, man.
Is he gonna wear that pink jacket everywhere?
He loves it. You can tell that's his. He's in his pink fur era.
It's like that first big purchase he's ever made in his life, and he's just, you know what? I don't care what y'all say. I want it everywhere.
He looks like a bottle of Pepto-Bismol.
Oh,
I
come
love
on.
Darby though. Darby, you're pretty cool. Just get a new jacket, babe. That's all we need. Get a new
Make sure you
coat.
wash it.
Right,
Take
you're
it
going
back
to
to
like
it.
the south with this fur jacket on.
It be hot down here, bro. Pay your dry cleaning bill. You feel me?
All right. So after Dobbs, we had the bad apple of the learning tree, Brian Keith
Yeah.
versus Katsuyori Shibata. We had Jericho on commentary as well, who kicked Taz off commentary because those damn EVPs will not allow Taz to commentate on matches where Chris Jericho is around. So, unfortunately, we had to listen to Jericho waffle during this. And I thought they had a pretty good match, man. Keith, Shibata. I don't think anyone who's familiar with the two is particularly surprised. There was a good level of physicality to it, and they had like a nice TV match. I thought. Shibata used the Iron Claw at one point, which popped me huge. And yeah, man. I believe Shibata got the win.
Yeah,
Shibata got the win, and Jericho and Big Bill hit the ring afterwards, beat him up, and then Hook makes his big return. Say big. Hook makes his return, and yeah, Hook makes his return, makes a save. The heels go running off, and I mean, outside of it being Jericho learning tree, which I have zero interest in, as a match in a vacuum, I thought this was fine. And obviously, Hook coming back got a pop, and I thought this was pretty inoffensive for the most part. What did you think, Jana?
I'm gonna be real.
Be real with me.
Anything with like the learning tree, I dissociate.
Fair.
But I love Shibata. Shibata's my guy. So I was like, it was like a thing. Like I had like a bag of Doritos, and I was just like, oh my god, let me just mess around like on my iPad, and I was like, oh my god, he won, yay! They can have Brian Keith doing so many different things. Like who? You have him as the bad apple? Are you kidding? The bad apple?
It's such a funny ass nickname.
Are you serious? This whole learning tree stuff is so Tony Khan, if you're watching this, stop trying to make the learning tree happen. It's not gonna happen.
It's like fetch, bro. Stop it.
These guys could be doing so many more different things. You have Shibata, who had his brain basically removed, doing a segment with a bad apple. I'm sorry. That's
a bad apple.
That's all I have to say.
A bad apple.
The bad apple.
No bad apple. It's quite the nickname.
We have the bounty hunter.
He was on Talk is Jericho recently, and I saw the quote because I posted it on our page, and it was like there was conversations about Brian Keith potentially being involved with like the House of Black. There was another House of Black, and Shane Taylor Promotions, and he said that there was more as well. Obviously, he just can't remember or didn't want to say exactly which one. In the learning tree of Jericho, instead Jericho obviously must have like picked him out or something.
And Miles froze again. Like he doing making a contemplative image, just like he had 1964 with a damn press conference with MLK or something. Like, what are we gonna do at Selma?
Good fellow. What are we waffling about today? Brian. Oh.
Get it, bro. Stay. He's alive.
What's going on, mate?
Anyway, like, could you imagine Brian Keith in the House of Black, bro? You would try nigga in a 5'2" blade. Like, what was it going?
That's what I was gonna say anyway.
I feel like sometimes Tony Khan, he like gets blindfolded by like Nick and Matt, and they like have a wheel of like different storylines, and so like he just throws it sometimes, and that's what the superstars do for the next few months.
So funny, especially if you're a bounty hunter. I'd rather you be by yourself and just collect bounties.
A bounty hunter turns into a bad apple.
And I don't care how you gotta do it or when you do it. Bring back steel tipping now, immediately.
I'm sorry, if they keep going on with this whole bad apple thing, he's gonna have like less aura than freaking Solo Sikoa.
The steel tipping thing as well could like It'd just be one of those things that would help him get over in certain cities and stuff. You know, like obviously we all know, like Brian Keith, like he was a little bit of a name on the indies, but he wasn't exactly like prime Young Bucks in Ring of Honor sort of name. Do you know what I mean? It's like people don't really know who he is, and that's just kind of something that they could have used to help just like people just kind of warm to him, you know. But evidently, and I do think it's not. I don't think it's a thing that would like cost Tony a lot of money. Like he's sponsored by Swish House, so it's like he's literally like a sponsored athlete by him. So I'm sure they can make it happen, you know. So I don't know really. I think it's a weird fit as well, to be honest. But
good match though, but still,
good match. At least he's having matches on TV and stuff like that. But it's a weird.
I like that Shibata's using the Iron Claw.
Yeah,
that's cute.
Just the Autumn Hurry on there.
Like, come on. I mean, the Bad Apple, I can't even take it seriously.
That's crazy.
So I did a tweet yesterday. Like, if you would have told me in 2019 that Shibata was coming back and you would have this run, like, there's no way I'd believe you. And I think people actually kind of took it the wrong way. Took it in like the positive way of like, oh, he's still able to have good matches and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, he is, and that's good. But it's just more so like, if you would have told me that like the wrestler Katsuyori Shibata was gonna like come out of retirement, sign with AEW, and then he would just be like just a guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, because he is very much a guy. He's just like a guy on their roster. Like he's not. He has like no aura anymore. You know, it's just like.
Are you?
I will say that little Google Translate thing he be doing is kind of funny, but. It's so
he's so just kind of just there. Like he's just a guy. Like
again, writing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not him. When I say he's got no aura, I just mean he hasn't been presented as like this guy who's. I don't know, man.
For you,
get some people out the writing room. To be honest,
that part. Is there anyone even in the writers' room? I feel like it's like two crickets and freaking Tony in there sometimes because this just. It doesn't connect.
We hog tie whoever in there. I'll say that much.
It's Shibata with a bad.
Yeah, exactly, man. He's like this. He's this legend. You know what I mean? In the sense of like, a lot of people, especially who got into AEW, is like they haven't seen like what he's capable of and who he really is. Like they haven't seen that match with Okada, or even if they have, like. They've just seen those matches, like the Okada match, etc. You know, and like they have this certain like visual of what he's supposed to be, you know. And a lot of people in the chat say, like, no aura, what are you talking about? I mean, just in the way he's presented, not him himself. Like he's still Shibata, do you know what I mean? And he's still clearly up to it in terms of in ring, which is a great thing to see, considering like what he came back from, you know. But I just think like if he is back and he's healthy and he can have matches on a regular basis, like he should be presented as like who he really is in my eyes, which is like this legend with just crazy amounts of aura that's presented as like really just like special and just this different hard hitting the wrestler, bro. Do you know what I mean? And it's just so far it's just not been that in AEW like at all. So I don't know. I do struggle with the Shibata thing because every time I see him walk out, I'm just kind of like, as if he's just a guy, you know, like because he's just a guy, bro. Like he's just a guy on the AEW roster. It's just fucking bizarre to me, you know. But yeah, it was a decent match. Both good wrestlers who I think both should be doing kind of different, better things.
It's like I like the whole Samoa Joe group. But like without Samoa Joe, you kind of left the wolves.
Again, writing in pro wrestling is fundamental. It is the key to success.
Fundamentally bad.
Crazy to me. Like, now that I'm talking with you guys, I'm just like a bad apple and Shibata. Like this man, like Brian Keith, how do you go from a bounty hunter? Like this dude, he would come out, his entrance was cold. And now you're walking around like, give respect to Chris Jericho. Are you kidding me?
You look like a damn gross sister.
I can't. And they could have done something with Big Cass. And he's just like on his iPad, like he's like, Chris Jericho. Very.
We said all that to say Chris Jericho bad.
I guess. Last thing I'll say about this, because it's been said in the chat, is that like I think I need this Shibata in the C2. And you just like you run like the Okada match back. You know, you just fucking.
Tell you what would be crazy enough to do that. I'm part like leave the memories alone, but also like, hey man, Shibata can still wrestle. Like he's not 2017 Shibata anymore, obviously, but he's still good.
And he's in shape.
No, he's good. Yeah, he's good, man. Shibata's still good. He can still do it, bro. Like,
oh my god, I can't.
He can still do the He can still do the dance. But yeah, anyway. Orange Cassidy had a promo with Renee, and basically his partners aren't here this week, so he needs new partners. At one point, he asked Renee if she wanted to be his partner. But yeah, he said he found a couple of guys that like to fight, so that gets revealed later on. Hangman Page then has a promo with Renee, and basically Renee asked him, like, things haven't quite gone the way you wanted it to so far, like, since you come back, a couple of big losses. And he's just like, bro, I've got one man on my mind, and all these fucking, all these pieces of shit keep getting in my way. And justice denied is justice delayed. What is it? Justice delayed is justice denied. And believe me when I tell you that I will get what I want. So he is very much still focused on Mr. Swerve Strickland.
That man was really about to drop some third grade Marshall quotes out here. Talking about some justice delayed.
He was giving like the Dark Knight, justice delayed. It's justice delayed.
I remember Ibu had a tweet about called Batman on the page. I'm like, come on, bro.
I know. This episode was so whimsical. Again, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like great.
It was just funny in some parts, but it was a good episode. But like, Hangman is my favorite crash out in the history of history. Like, I love that man so much. Pause. Like, give him the world. Give him the main event of Wembley no matter what. I don't care. Give him the world. Do something with him after this. Let him crash out in peace. He ain't done nothing wrong.
I love him. He's
just
a
good man.
He's just the boy.
Great. He's just defending his family.
Literally, he's just a man.
Just a man.
He's a man with real reason, justified in his actions, I'd say. But yeah, we'll see how Hangman finally gets his hands on Swerve Strickland again. Which is crazy to say because I've already had like 3 or 4 matches. Like finally gets his hands on Swerve again.
It's a testament to how great this feud has been because no one's gonna ever get tired of wrestling each other or being around.
A lot of the AEW faithful wants Hangman in the main event of Wembley.
He should be, but.
It should be. Shout out to Charlie. It should be Hangman versus Swerve. But hey,
But hey, speaking of Swerve, he had a sit down interview with good old Jim Ross, and it was very much just when I say standard, I don't mean he was average or he was 5 out of 10. I just mean as in this was a very just like logical. Just sit down interview with JR, talking about the match, talking about how ready he is, talking about how he's gonna like put Brian in retirement and X, Y, and Z. And it was just, I don't know. I just get proper champ vibes of Swerve Strickland.
Exactly.
He's dressed to the nines. He's got the belt there. Talks very confidently. He's very good at articulating himself in his promos and stuff like that, making shit feel like serious and meaningful. Jim Ross was a little bit spotty, but God bless, he's only getting older. He
was doing his thing.
Everyone at WrestlePurists knows I absolutely fucking adore Jim Ross. So it's like, I'm even if he's in this kind of form, bro, I'm happy to see him.
He does ask for gravitas and stuff, but
this kind of form, Jesus.
Hey man, like.
But yeah, I love good old JR. But, big fan of Swerve in his segment as well. And he came across as a big deal, made the match feel like a big deal. Came across as serious.
Well, he's a serial killer. Given what he's done in AEW.
Hey, man, don't put it past him. Don't put it past him. But yeah, he's ready to send Brian to the retirement home. What did you make of it, Jana? A lot of people like this.
Swerve, he's doing his thing. That was one of like the better parts of the episode, I feel like.
Mhm.
He's in his element right now, and it's like he's the type that even if he didn't have a championship, he could make a match like this still feel big, because it is. The way he carries himself is just really cool. A lot of aura in Mr. Swerve Strickland. I like it because I like how they did the portion of tying in his sit down with how he confronts Brian at the end of the episode, which we'll get to later, because he's standing on business. He's like, okay, I respect this man. He is a legend, but at the end of the day, I'm the champion. I'm not old. I'm not washed. I'm gonna retire him. And I like that. Get straight to the point. Like, I respect you, but you're gonna retire, and it's gonna be because of me. I loved it. So.
Yeah, it's good shit, man. It's good shit. Yeah, Marcus. He's Swerve saying that Brian Danielson's legacy, it's going to be his after All In. What did you make of it?
Swerve Strickland, you're so amazing. I'm so fucked up about you. I was watching you hog tie Hangman Page from a jail cell. Now I'm finna watch you main event Wembley Stadium. Oh man. He just comes across as a world champion. Like, you see what Cody does. You've seen Roman for the last 3 years. Like, you've seen Okada in the middle of the 720-day IWGP title reign. You've seen Tana. Like, Swerve is starting to make his mark in this company and in wrestling as a whole with this run. Like, every week you see him growing into it. He's not someone they say he's like, well, faking until he's making it. No, he comes in as a guy who believes in himself, who makes things seem like the most important thing in the world. Like, the AEW World Championship is the most important thing in the world. He gets across what's going on in whatever feud he's in very well without being ham-fisted. And every time he comes out there, it's whose house? Swerve's house. Everybody knows what time it is. That's the mark of a world champion. When he steps out there, when he's on screen, when he's doing just anything really with that championship, he's the most important thing. Everybody's eyes are glued to him. He's doing the best part of building this entire feud up. Brian's kind of teetering a little bit, but we might get there. But in terms of what the champion's doing, Swerve is doing everything he can. And I'm very proud to see his progression since he's gotten in here in AW. Like, we saw him get put in a coffin last year, and now he's main eventing in front of 40,000, 50,000 people. Like, you can't ask for more than that in terms of advancement.
Yeah, it's like I was saying at the start of the show, man. We thought when you talk about AEW in general and people do like the doom and gloom, and it's like, bro, it's hard to like say they're just bad because it's like, look what they've done with Swerve and like, Ospreay was the other example it is, but it's just, as Marcus just laid out, it's like, look where he was last year. Then towards the end of last year, he goes into this big time feud, which is obviously what they decided. Like, this is going to be the platform that we launched Swerve Strickland off, and look how it's gone. Do you know what I mean? Here we are. Mm-hmm. August, 2 weeks away from Wembley, 3 weeks away from Wembley, and he's about to main event. So it just shows that proper focused, planned out, long term idea for a certain talent, where you want him to be, how to get him from A to B, is very beneficial to have. Especially when the talent grows into it the way that Swerve has. You know, he's everything asked of him. Every opportunity he's been given, he's taken. Whether that's the match against Brian Danielson, whether that's the match against, whether that's the match that he's just had with Ospreay, whether that's like anytime he's been given the ball, he's been able to run with it. So nothing but good shit. This match, Orange Cassidy and his mystery partners were the FTR, who just love to wrestle in the Carolinas. So we had Orange Cassidy and the FTR versus Roosh, the Beast Mortos, and Roderick Strong.
Yes, sir.
And this was my favorite part of the whole show. This was just fucking grabs, just physicality, just hard chops, intensity, just more physicality, more chops, more into like it's just fucking big. Roderick Strong, like there was a lot of good performances in it. So I thought Roosh, like they all look good, but in particular, I thought Roosh, FTR, but Roderick Strong was a fucking savage in this match. He was just whacking people, getting whacked, feeding everyone shit, bumping like a maniac, fucking just going crazy. reminiscent of someone who is redacted now, but he was just
Redacted
going,
now.
he was just going insane in a way that only, we've only used to seeing from Mr. Redacted, but Jesus, Roderick Strong was a fucking animal in this match.
I love Roderick Strong so much, man. Like, if you were in a lab creating the perfect pro wrestler, especially the perfect TV wrestler, you can give him 3 minutes, you can give him 23 minutes. It will be him. Like, his gas tank is never on empty. That shit is all the way up the floor every single time he out there. Bumping, feeding, chopping, kicking the shit out of people. He's going non-stop. Like, he's one of those guys where if you in the ring with him and you can keep up for like 2-3 minutes or whatever time you got with him, you belong in the business. Just period, point blank, take the drive.
I would love to see him fight like in a dream match against Chad Gable.
Oh, yeah, man. Bro, I'd watch that man wrestle fucking anyone. But
I'd watch him wrestle Hornswoggle, and I'd pop.
I would. I would.
He was teaching D3 linebackers from Sacramento State, Santa Clara, or whatever, like 2 years ago, in the damn warehouse, teaching them how to wrestle in real time. Like, you can do anything.
Bro, Roddy was going like nuts in this match. Like, I was like giggling to myself, texting Joe, like, bro, look at this savage. Like, what is what is this guy on? Like, but yeah, he's just all 6 of these guys. I love all 6 of them. I think they're all tremendous. But yeah, really good match. Really enjoyed this. Jonah, what did you make of it?
Into that shit. What a shit.
Like,
No.
The conglomerate and stuff. They should just have so many iterations of them wrestling Roddy and Beast Mortos and fucking whoever else. Just put them in with anybody. They're the best part of the show. They're like they're the perfect mid-card act to put in there for 15 minutes. Just let them go crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, man. All right, we got anything else to add on that trios match?
Beast Mortos, I love you. Give him the 2022 Colorado push you randomly gave him. Yeah. Because he's just a really good wrestler. He's probably a mid-card / to upper mid-carder, but he's really good. And you can tell when Tony just really likes somebody. Like, he picked Mark Briscoe last week on Dynamite. Like, what more can you ask for? Where's the hologram? Which is the big pet project going on.
Hologram has a true supporter in me. I need to see him on Dynamite. Like, yes.
Hologang or die. Hologang or die.
I'm sorry. If Ricochet, I'm sorry if he does come. I'm popping for that match. Are you kidding me? The reversals that they're gonna do, it's gonna be Cirque du Soleil, but I like that. That's fun. It's like, if you know how to do it, do it.
They go crazy.
It does feel as we get closer and closer that might be what they're gonna go with, But yeah, there was a hologram video package on this show. It's not on this here, but there was a hologram video package on this episode of Dynamite. So it does seem that we will see him on Dynamite at some point eventually. But yeah, he definitely is like one of Tony Khan's like big projects of the year, I guess, especially going into the end of the year. I'm excited, man. He's been very good so far, very, very good. So
he's gonna star in those collision shows. Now, just imagine, I like what they're doing. So just let him be a big focal point of the Arlington residency right now. And then when you start going back out, and when he starts wrestling for the traveling arenas and stuff like that, it's gonna go crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. He's I think very optimistic about the next few months for him. But yeah, after the match, the Acclaimed come out. We can't have nice things. No, I'm joking. The Acclaimed come out, but Max Caster's mic is cut off, and Dax was like, we're all very much like the crowd. The guys in the back are sick of hearing you, so get past security and come in and fight. And he literally said it with that like exact same cadence that I just said it with.
Word for word, bar for bar.
Yeah, it came off kind of weird because he was just kind of like, I get past security and let's just scrap. Like,
all right, we know.
Like, all right, bro, fuck it. So yeah, that happened.
Can't win them all.
The Acclaimed FTR books looks like it could be the direction, I think.
Which is so funny because I actually like FTR and The Acclaimed as a feud itself. of what they did the last like 2 weeks. But like in a big tag title feud, take it or leave it. That should be a separate feud for me.
It's just
in a
the
perfect
thought
world.
of Max Caster with a live microphone.
Yeah.
That just
All I'll say is thank God he hasn't tried to rap for like the last 3 weeks.
stop
God.
it, raps. Stop it, please. I beg you. Like I can't take it. It's just it hurts. Like
Really going through it.
Yeah.
It's always the same like boom boom bat boom boom bat. Like girl, enough.
How about the booth logic? How about the booth, Kyle?
I can't. No more raps. Like stop. I can't. No more
Maybe we
raps.
should
Just
get tired.
get in there and fight. Because it's like they come out and it could be a good match on paper, but you have Max Caster who be like, I'm here at All In. You're gonna take the pin. Like, girl, what?
This motherfucker rap like Coop from All American. I think she's better than him.
I can't.
Anyway.
The Acclaimed, man. Anyway. Christian and the Patriarchy did a promo. He said he looked like the House of Black and Bang Bang Gang both wanted the title shot this Saturday in Collision. He said it was Bang Bang Gang versus House of Black, and the winners would be getting to be number one contenders for the trios titles. He said he would up the stakes, and the title shot would be at Wembley. And he also said he would be the special guest referee for the match. So clearly,
because they need a father.
It's probably going to end up being a freeway at Wembley.
Yeah,
it seems there. So that was that. Okay, Camille
versus crazy.
Camille versus it was a 2-1 handicap match. So she was taking on. I've got here. It says Jasmine Howe and Clara Carter. These poor ladies didn't stand a chance, did they? You know, Camille just kind of ran them over, powerhouse, yada yada yada, and yeah, Mercedes looked very happy whilst all this was going down. You know, slay, etc., etc., and
it's slay. Yeah. That's crazy,
etc., etc. Don't forget that. But
fair.
So yeah, Camille gets the win here very easily. And then Mercedes gets on the mic after and she cuts a promo, which has been kind of criticised today quite a lot. And then, what is it? They're building the match. And then Tony Schiavone, like Mercedes cut the promo on Britt Baker. Then Tony Schiavone gets on the mic and was like, excuse me, Mercedes. I've got a message from Tony Khan. Britt Baker's suspension has been lifted and she will be joining us via satellite. And Britt Baker's on the screen and she cuts this promo on Mercedes about how she, you know, Mercedes, if she don't get her own way, she takes a ball and she goes home. And at Wembley, the match is still on, and etc. etc. And it was. I mean, I had kind of some issues with it. Like I do kind of have some. I mean, I'm talking about this whole segment now, not just the promo. Camille, have slight concerns about Camille and how if she's really going to be like up to being like Mercedes' muscle, because obviously you would eventually, whether it's a year from now or however long, it's like eventually someone's going to turn, and it's like that'll be there's a big spot for Camille, you know. And I'm watching it, and it just came to mind. It's like what about Camille is better for this role than like Nyla Rose, for example?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Who AEW audience already is familiar with, knows can go. You know she can go. We all know she can go. We all know she's an effective monster heel when she needs to be. And she can talk, etc., etc. Then I guess on to kind of the next thing, it's like I do feel like the Money Corporation does need a mouthpiece. Like I'm not going to go as extreme as some people are, because Mercedes haters is so like some people are so over the top with it and exaggerate it so much. It's like, okay, Mercedes isn't a great live promo. She's just not. And I love Mercedes, you know, but I feel like when she does cut a promo and it doesn't come off great, people love to shit on her, bro.
It's
and it's
so
just like,
weird.
It can be a lot. Like sometimes just say like, yo, that weren't really a great promo. It didn't come off great. Whereas some people are, huh, Mercedes, she's an anti-draw and she can't talk at all. And,
Which,
and
by the way, this is one of the segments that actually grew a number last night, by the way. So the anti-draw thing is, you know.
Exactly. So it's just like some people do a lot, just do too much with like the Mercedes slander. Although there is like, you know, like I said, she just isn't a great live promo, you know. I think what Jana said earlier about, I think we had a super chat about like Britt not being there live, I think kind of does hurt the promo a bit, because when they were in the ring together doing the back and forth promo, it's like Mercedes can feed off that energy. Do you know what I mean? Of like, because it just, when Britt and Mercedes were face to face in the ring, it just felt big. It just felt big time, you know. And I think Mercedes did feed off that, and it was like one of her better showings on the mic. So it's like when she's kind of just out there to just do it herself, it can come off like it did last night, where it's not particularly great in my opinion. But I do think, like I've already said multiple times, I think people do go a bit like over the top with it. But yeah, what do you guys think? I'll start with you, Marcus. This Mone Corporation, Camille's debut, and kind of like the post match stuff after.
I say Camille looked like a monster, which job well done when you're trying to book these kind of matches. And she brought the torture rack and the torture bomb out. Thank God. I thought she abandoned it after a week, but we good on that front. But yeah, this promo, it wasn't bad or anything like that. It just was one of those things from Mercedes where she's just not that great of a talker. Camille definitely should not get a live mic for a long time. Especially her accent, if you ever listen to her talk, that shit is strong, bro. Like, that's a country-ass North Carolina woman if I ever heard one.
Yeah.
I know several. But, like, anyway. And then the Britt doing her thing. Like, you kind of know what to expect from Britt Baker at this point. She's probably going to get a little shooting on you. She'll probably throw some stuff. But live, it works a lot better, especially with this feud, because them together, say what you want about Britt Baker, say what you want about this feud and her being a part of it. It is a big feud. And the crowd sees it as a big feud when they're together out there live. And they still got the big DMV chants off, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
Britt, please stay out of trouble. I'm begging you.
Literally.
Yeah, Jenna, you're part of the Mone Corporation. You know, you're at the offices. You know what goes down over there. So what did you think of all this matching segment?
I feel like, because I'm reading you guys' comments, WrestlePurists comment section. I'm reading. There's a lot of factors. We had such a strong feud with Mercedes and Willow because they were present the whole time.
Yes.
I feel like Mercedes, when she is able to be a raging bitch as her character, a boss that she's not trying to entertain, she knows who she is, she's cocky, it works. But it is hard when the person who you're supposed to be building a feud with, again, I'm not an in-ring performer, so I'm just gonna guess. It's like us doing a review show. If there's one of us here, it's gonna be like, yeah, and then quiet. Like, none of the jokes are gonna connect. We can't feed off of each other. Stay out of trouble. Like, it's like to get suspended when you just came back, girl. It's crazy. Now for promos, like I said earlier, when Mercedes is given the ball just to be like, you know, just be ruthless, be cocky, you know you're great, just go for that, she's decent. But it is hard. I feel like the walkout shoot, if that was a shoot, it would have connected if they were in person. If her suspension was lifted, quote unquote, they should have done that and then like have her ambush Mercedes in the ring in person. How are you gonna say her suspension is lifted and then you have the girl on a Zoom satellite
via Zoom?
Yeah.
Girl, stop.
That's all, ooh.
You know, it's just the thing of like, this is a big feud because when these two are together, the fans react to it, but it's hard to do that if you have one person carrying it because you're nowhere to be found because you're getting into trouble. It's hard. I do think that Mercedes, I love her to death, but I think she needs to hone in on, if you're a CEO, be a boss ass bitch, you know, like take that in, hone it in, be ruthless. The way she was like in NXT, you need to be like on it 100%. But again, she does feed off well when it's in person. Like whenever she would have a contract signing or anything, it was always amazing because she would like fight them, call them a bitch, whatever. It would just work. Yeah, I honestly feel like it's a strong feud when they were in person. I feel like maybe they'll come back to this feud later on down the line, you know, whether it be months from now or like next year or so. I just hope that everybody would be present. It's hard to build something like, and it connects kind of to how the one super chat, I forgot who sent it, said that it feels like Swerve is selling the match better than Brian. Brian had this whole thing of, I don't need to be champion. Swerve was the one who was like, okay, well, I want to retire this man. So you have to have both people heavily involved for it to really connect. So I think Camille needs to be more, I don't know, like her presentation is good, but I feel like if she was presented more as like untouchable with like Mercedes being mean and ruthless, it would work. Because Mercedes right now is having fun. If they honed it in, I feel like it would come across better. And Camille should never touch a mic.
No.
Not right now. And this is it's not even being mean. It's just, no. It would demolish her character. So.
Yeah, because be strong and sound. Like she did the NWA with Aldous and them. They had a whole thing where she literally did not talk. And it was a huge deal when she did.
Yeah.
Here, just stay silent. Just beat the shit out of people. Just be her problem solver like Tomko was for Christian. And call it a day.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's good that Jenna touched on like how Tony was like, you know, she's lifted from suspension and she's here via satellite. It's like it got us hype thinking. And honestly, because of the reports earlier in the week, and I think there was some even yesterday as well, like Britt Baker's going to be involved on Dynamite and stuff. I thought they was going to do that. I think Marcus just said it, where it's like she's on satellite and then she ambushes her from behind or some shit. Do you know what I mean? But like she was just on satellite, bro. Like, and
it was just like, okay, girl.
Exactly. It was just like, all right.
It's like, I know it was probably difficult for some people to get in because of the hurricane and everything, but I don't know if she was there backstage and pre-recorded or not, or if it wasn't it, but it was difficult for people to get there. Like none of the conglomeration was except for Orange Cassidy. So it was kind of a put together kind of show in that regard.
Yeah, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one for last night, but just I guess since we're on the review, you know, he just came off a bit weird the way that he was like, she's back, but satellite.
Not really back. She live on Uvu.
She's on a StreamYard link, just like, hello.
All right, so that was the Britt Mercedes build.
Britt, girl, stay out of trouble, please.
Yes, Britt Baker, please stay out of trouble.
Enough is enough.
I don't need everyone worldwide taking 10 minutes up talking about fucking your backstage drama, Britt Baker. Get it together.
You 33 years old, fam.
Get it together, woman.
You're not in high school.
I tell you, Ray, you 33.
Literally, like this is dumb.
All of you, all of them. I need to wag my finger at all of them. Britt Baker, MJF, Ospreay's involvement as well. You know.
No. I think he only did that because he was probably like, "Hey, why are you coming at me, girl?" Like,
you good?
The thing is, you're not all for. Which is like, I understand that line of thinking of like, oh, well, you know, she was talking shit. So like, it's not like they went up to her and fucking threw her up against the wall and was like, what the fuck? Like, you know, there was just apparently they did just ask her about it, like, yo, what the fuck? But it's just like, but if I'm with Ospreay, yeah, like, I'm arguably the best wrestler in the world in terms of like in ring and what fans say about me and shit. And I'm out there and I'm having my 1 hour match, and I hear that Britt Baker's in the locker room talking shit. I do not give a fuck, bro. Like, why would you care? Do you know what I mean? It's not like she's booking the show, but obviously, I don't know what the dynamic is.
More of like a random like girl. Why are you talking about my match?
You know what the problem is?
If I'm Will Ospreay, honestly, I would have been like, I know you're not talking about my in ring because hey,
like your ass moves slower than a DJ Screw mixtape.
But yeah. Anyway, main event time. Brian Danielson versus Jeff Jarrett. No DQ. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is a special guest. I thought he was going to be like a referee or an enforcer, but
I did too when I first seen the tweet.
Me too.
He's just he was on commentary. Yeah, he was on commentary, and yeah, he was just the special guest. He wasn't a special guest enforcer. He wasn't a special guest referee. He was just there, chilling, you know, watching the Graps doing his thing, you know. Got a little pop, you know. Got his
the funniest thing he said on commentary, where he was like talking about the figure four. It's like, I'll be guys, that's a shoot right there.
I love having him around. It's always nice to see Ricky the Dragon, man. But yeah, Brian Danielson and Jeff Jarrett. This was just that real shit, bro. That was just. I don't know, it's just smart. They get so much out of so little. It's just like the way that they're going to the back and fighting by the concession stands and stuff like that. It's not like they're bumping all over the place and shit. You know, you've got an old man and a guy whose neck is hanging together by a tether. You know, it's like they can't do those crazy like G1 Prime Naito versus Ibushi matches. You know, like they're not going to be doing that now. You know,
drop each other next special.
Yeah, exactly. So like, we're not going to get that. They know how to play the game, bro, because we've got two fucking just vets, you know, just they know how to do these walk and brawls, come back to the ring, and then they just have this. They have a tremendous match, and it's just logical, it's gritty, it's just good shit, bro. I love this sort of stuff. And Jeff Jarrett is some of his he has had some stinkers in AEW, but like when he's been given the chance to wrestle like your Hangmans and your Bryans and people like that, like he's been tremendous, man. He's very self-aware in the way that he wrestles. Of like, okay, I'm an old fuck, you know, I'm an old fuck that can still get shit done, sort of thing, and that very much comes across in the way he approaches his matches, and I do appreciate that. Like he's not trying to like be something he isn't, you know. And Brian's Brian, it goes without saying, he's fucking the greatest wrestler to ever do it. So I love this. I love the finish. Brian doing the Busaku knee into the chair, into his chin, busted him open. Yeah, there's just I thought there was a lot to like about this. Yes. Jeff Jarrett, this is kind of like Brian's little side mission to get him ready for Swerve, because you know Jeff Jarrett didn't think he was taking it serious enough, and fuck all that happy to be here shit. And yeah, I've liked this like little mini side quest for Brian, you know, of like Jeff Jarrett like kind of, you know, shaking him and being like, come on, Brian, lock in, you know. And Brian Danielson,
no tomorrow, Brian.
Literally.
Yeah, exactly. And now after the end of Dynamite, Brian Danielson, we know, is locked in, you know. So next week and the next 2 weeks, I think will be really like a lot more heated in terms of like the tension between Swerve and Brian. So a lot to look forward to coming out of this, and I did enjoy the main event. Jana, what did you think of Old Man Double J and Brian Danielson doing the dance?
I loved it. I'm a big fan of technical wrestling, but I love wrestling that it just gets gritty and it's not that polished, but it gets the job done. Jeff Jarrett, I feel like he's textbook on how old timers should come in when it comes to like putting the younger generation over, even though Brian Danielson is a little older, but you guys know what I mean. Mm-hmm. He came and he gave it 100%. I mean, he gave a solid performance and he got busted open, but he was still fighting. I loved it. It was very like cathartic almost. and it just felt like a match that could have happened on like a marquee pay-per-view. It was gritty, it was nasty. Some of the bumps that Jeff Jarrett was taking, I was like,
God bless.
I was like, your wife is not going to be happy about this. But, you know, it lit a fire under Brian Danielson, and it's working out well. I loved it. That was probably one of my favorite closing segments on a Dynamite show in a while. It was just, it ignited something, and it really woke up the feud, especially with the way that Swerve, you know, he's showing more of his heel side. He's still being a tweener, but he's leaning more into the heel role, which he excels at. And now Brian it's giving like shades of his old baby face days where he was like, I'm going to fight to the end. So I liked it. I think it all went together beautifully. And I love the fact that even at the end, those two were so done. They were all gassed out, but they still showed each other respect. And it all worked out in the end. It did what it needed to do. It succeeded.
Yeah, man. Good shoot. Marcus, what did you think of the match? Jeff Jarrett, Brian Danielson, no DQ. And good shoot.
I liked it a lot. First and foremost, Jeff Jarrett is the funniest wrestler in the business because he managed to get his way into the biggest story of Wembley Stadium and basically just became just kindly. Exactly, 2024. Like he managed to basically become the Apollo Creed in Rocky 3 to Brian Danielson's Rocky after he got knocked out by Clubber Lang. It's like you better lock in. I can't be taking this more serious than you. So let's go ahead and fight. Fuck it. Let's go ahead and brawl all through North Carolina. And they did their thing. The crowd brawling was fun. Brawling backstage. The ending, like they made a lot out of a little in the sense they used every single part of the ring, every single part of the arena. Everything they could, they did, and they knew what they were doing. Just two OGs doing their thing, you feel me? And then Jeff Jarrett getting his shit busted open with that finisher with the Psychonelia chair. I was like, oh my God, Jeff, you good? That shit come like down here all the way down to his chin. I was like, yo, what part of the chair hit you? It was like the little corner part, but anyway, good match. Enjoyed it. It was very much a North Carolina type of wrestling match.
Hell yeah.
It was that real shit. And then Swerve coming out at the end.
Yeah, man.
You know? He's like, you got yourself a little warm up. I'm going to get myself a little warm up. Let me wrestle with you next week. Which, breaking news, guys. I don't know if y'all heard. Brian Danielson has been part of a faction for the last 3 years. And they're actually involved for once. Look at that.
Who would have thought?
Pure Wheeler. He's going to get rocked.
But yeah, as Marcus already said, Swerve comes out after the match and he's like, yeah, man, you had your little warm-up, Brian. I'm having mine next week. Wheeler, you are what you're saying. And that's set up. Jan already touched on Brian and Jeff Jarrett showing each other respect. The shake hands. Ricky Dragon raises the hands up and it's all very nice, you know. But yeah, when it comes to this feud, of course, like, a lot of people have been saying, like, you know, like, why is Brian, like, people have even said it tonight in the live chat, like, why is Brian doing this side mission? And Swerve has built this feud so much more than Brian. And I think it's kind of a hurdle that they're trying to navigate through in AEW's creative of, like, these are both baby faces that we want to keep baby faces. So it's like, even with, like Jana mentioned, Swerve touching on and leaning heel, it's like he can't go too far, you know, because he's already gone through like this redemption arc over the past few months of like becoming the noble champion, etc., and you know, realizing the mistakes and the wrongs he done to like Hangman and stuff like that, and acknowledging them and shit like that. So we can't just go full on piece of shit straight away, you know, this sinister piece of shit that he was a few months ago. And obviously Brian, you're not going to turn him heel before his potential retirement match, you know. So it's like keeping them kind of apart, and like Brian's got his own like internal story of like, you know, I was happy to be here and and obviously now Jeff Jarrett has like lit the fire underneath him. Where Swerve, like a lot of his promos have been rooted in like, this is my throne, I'm protecting it, and if Brian's the person coming from my throne, then I'm putting him into retirement. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, now that Brian's got that fire lit under him, I think we can get like 2-3 weeks or whatever it is before Wembley of like them being more kind of, you know, the intensity is going to be leveled up sort of thing. Because it's like, if it was just that from the start, it's like, how do you book this feud? Is it just like, respectful shake hands. You know, like your two top baby faces fucking about to do like a 6 weeks feud. So I kind of understand, I guess, why they've gone this route of keeping it kind of like they're doing this separate side story with Brian, and Swerve is just kind of talking himself up. And whereas like now, Swerve is about to probably murder Wheeler Yuta, you know, and
I hope so.
yeah, and we'll see the intensity. Like I said, the intensity is about to step up. So I'm excited to see where they go with it from now, you know. But a good show, man. I thought it was a pretty decent show. I don't think it was anything. I don't think it, like I said, I don't think it was anything that jumped off the page. Like, oh my god, this was one of the best Dynamites of the year. But it wasn't bad at all, I don't think. And I thought some storyline progression, nothing major, you know, but another week, another step closer to All In. And I think the build this year has been a lot better than last year's, because last year's was pretty non-existent, you know. And that's not to say, that's not to say this build has been perfect or anything. Like I said, by the time the card gets fully announced, there is going to be people in matches where you think, yeah, they should have had something more. But in broad strokes, I think the build this year has been so much better than last year. So.
Last year we had an impromptu 6-man with fucking impromptu trios with Kenny and them set up with the weirdest looking Jim Ross backstage of all time.
Literally, last year was a mess. Truly,
they said, "Oh, well, we sold tickets. Well, we can just book anything."
Got Mercedes in the crowd though last year. That was a pop, you know. That was so beast.
It was.
I hope they do it this year. I don't know who they would do it with. It would have to be like Bobby Lashley or someone, but like they should do it. It should be like it should be a tradition.
I love a cliche debut. Like I want him to debut at All In. I'm sorry, I would pop. Are you kidding me?
Big Bob Lash.
Like, could you imagine him and MVP just sitting in like the front row at Wembley, just all suited up and booted up?
Stop it! Oh my god!
Yeah.
My God, Tony Khan, please let us in the writers' room.
We keeping Jimmy Jacobs away from you, my brother.
Yes.
Jimmy Jacobs always catching strays, bro. Anytime AEW's writing team comes, it's like that damn Jimmy Jacobs. Like,
hey man.
Oh man, I don't even know what parts of the show is responsible for at the minute, so I always try to lay off him. All I know is that it's pretty clear that Will Washington helps Swerve a lot. You know, everyone knows that. Tony's obviously involved in certain things. You know, Jericho's doing his own shit. You know, so it's like certain things I know, but when it comes to like, it got revealed that RJ City's helping Tony a lot with the Mariah and Tony stuff. So it's like you just never. Jen Pepperman's obviously helping with Mercedes. It's like I don't know who's doing what, bro, but I don't know. Should we finish with some super chats and then get out of here?
I hit them.
Beautiful. Bam, $2. Appreciate you as always. Omega coming for you. Aging, overrated, non-eating. Is that a dragon? Yeah, non-eating dragon.
We V-triggering that neck off, brother. We V-triggering that neck off.
Send it to the shadow realm. Non-meat eating, Bam meant to say. Another $2. Appreciate it. You guys keep up with the good work. Thank you very much. Like I said, this is very much an impromptu lineup. No AO. Charlie actually did book from last week. You know, we knew we had a big star like Jana coming in for a special appearance, but
top girl.
You know, I know you guys were hoping for AO. You know, it's impossible to replace AO, bro. He's a force. He's a force of nature, bro. You know, it's like
category.
And you guys better be nice to AO on Twitter, on X. I see all your little tweets. You guys get stupid with my brother. Stop.
Y'all will answer to us. We will see y'all.
Mm-hmm. Also, can I just say I opened up my DMs recently, and you guys are crazy.
Oh no!
Y'all, like stop. Actually, it's terrifying.
As soon as you started that with, I opened my DMs this week. I was like, oh boy.
I was like, what is going on?
He was like, y'all good? Y'all all right?
My brother's starving.
Y'all need therapy.
Man's 184, 199. Takeshita should be in the Olympics. What a stud! Listen, bro, in another life, he probably would be because he is like you said, he's a stud. Like,
he's the perfect pro wrestler.
He has it. They just need to put that rocket on him.
Just a machine.
Could you imagine New Japan wasn't broke? Could you imagine?
Bro, so what you said at the start of the show, Marcus, about like, bro, look at what he's doing in New Japan. Like, he feels like in that G1, Takeshita feels like he's there, like the ace. Do you know what I mean? Like he's just a fucking force of nature that's having the best matches with everyone.
Like, he's got Meltzer talking about him and ELP was on another level than everyone else. El Phantasmo.
I mean, these are the levels we're talking about, but he's going in there and having absolute barn burners with fucking El Phantasmo. And El Phantasmo, he can work, man. Like, but you know,
anyway. He's not the first person you think of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Shout out Spurs, $5. Tony and Mariah have done a great job at keeping everything feel so heated since the turn. It's my storyline of the year if they stick the landing. I mean, I think it's in contention.
It's up there. It's easily the best women's storyline they've done because it's actually a storyline and it's legitimately good and people are up for it. And it's probably the best story they've got going.
And both people are here.
That's a big plus. Good job of towing the line because the Tony character is what it is in terms of its zaniness, but they've done a decent job of towing the line of maintaining that, but also not having her flip the switch of like, fuck you, Mariah, it's on site when I see you. So that's a good job. Yeah. Just what a Mariah May title run looks like is going to be the big question afterwards, though.
I think she could do something special with the title. I think she could do a lot of different things. Maybe with like this new Ruthless character. If Mina is coming to AEW, even though I don't know if that's confirmed or not, she could run it with her. She could run it with a lot of people.
Yeah, this option.
She could run it with Hayter when Hayter comes back. Honestly, she could run it with Thunder Rosa. There's a lot of people she could.
Yeah, there's definitely options in terms of talent that she can work with as champion. It's just as I was saying earlier with Mariah May, it's like they brought her in. They had a clear plan for her. Like she's going to be Tony's sidekick to eventually turn on her, and we're seeing all that play out now. Very much as we were talking when we were talking about AEW, like in a general sense, it's like when she wins the belt, then comes that terrifying question to AEW of then what? You know, she wins the belt, then what? You know, it's like, yeah, she can have these defenses and just kind of have good matches and stuff, but I'm sure that a lot of fans would appreciate if she has like a proper, like, focused arc as champion, you know, even if that is to just eventually drop it back to Tony again or something in like 6 months, you know, or whatever it is. But I am interested in the then what of after Mariah May, as you assumably wins the belt off Tony at Wembley. Jay Coyle, £5. Appreciate you. Managed to exchange my ticket for Dynamite in Cardiff. Paid the same amount for a balcony ticket that they're selling ringside tickets for now. I mean, good for you, brother. Those Cardiff tickets were very expensive. I don't think I'm going to be there. Not to brag or anything, but did get media credentials for that. But it's Cardiff. Like, we're doing London as well the weekend. So I don't think I can do Cardiff and London in the same week, man. It's a lot.
That man heard Michael Oku might be there and said, no, thank you. That's crazy.
That's not true. These are accusations on my name. I support British wrestling.
Support Big Nigel Boy Oku.
Anjan, $2. When we smoking the Showa Umino pack, I'm sorry, Showa. He's out the G1. He's out the G1, isn't he? Or as good as out the G1.
Yeah, he's out of contention.
Better start sparking it up because.
Hey, man, I know one. I'll be celebrating Big Hiroki Goto. I ain't gonna lie. The G in G1 stands for Goto, baby.
Yes.
Fuck them kids. It's Big Goto hours. I love you, Suji. You're my dog. I need you. Big Gene Blast. I love you. Shooter, grow your hair back and get back on them roids. Render, you fucking suck. You. I'll ease off of you. You had a very good G1. Bits aside. But fuck them kids. It's Big Goto.
Yeah, Hiroki Goto, man. Hearing a lot of good things about him over the past couple of weeks, but he's
Awesome.
the oldest guy in the tournament, and he's holding it down for the old boys, bro. So I'm happy to hear shit like that. You know, always charms me. Showtown Spurs, $5. Mercedes cutting one middling promo shouldn't detract from an otherwise nice build-up so far. This was the first miss in the program, IMO. In terms of like straight up missing, I do tend to agree, to be honest. It wasn't like a disgrace or like actively bad television. I thought it's just that like it didn't really do anything for the feud, did it? You know?
Yeah, it was just kind of stuck in the show.
It made no sense. Like,
So yeah.
wow.
And that's the Sultan, $5. Tony versus May is good because it's simple. All the other stuff feels unnecessarily complicated. They've done the bare minimum to tell the people the pay-per-view exists.
I don't
know about that
part. I don't think it's a simple feud. I feel like there were a lot of pieces, a lot of foreshadowing, a lot of Easter eggs throughout their whole partnership with like Tony and Mariah. They've been marketing the fuck out of All In more than they did last year. It was like I had forgotten at one point. I was like, oh my god,
no one even mentioned it on TV until like 3 weeks before.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like I think with the last part of the Super Chase, like, you know, bare minimum. It's like, bro, like you compare it to last year, it's like it's a big improvement.
Last year was a disgrace.
They've got matches announced.
Crazy.
There's builds going on. Like there's an actual build. There's an actual pay-per-view being built to. Now, whether that feels like a fucking, I don't know, like a WWE Big Four pay-per-view build or something like that, that's obviously up for debate and how you feel about it, sort of thing. But I think they are definitely like letting it know that the pay-per-view is happening and they've got the builds, they've dropped a few graphics, etc., 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 etc. Like Brian was just in the UK doing a media tour. Nigel, Mariah were doing the same, so they're doing better than last year, definitely. Then I think when he says Tony and Mariah's simple, I think he just means like conceptually, you know, the student turning on the teacher, focus, long-term build, and now it's, you know, I mean, surprise, surprise, it's their biggest women's story, you know. So, but yeah, I can get where you're coming from, although I don't necessarily like agree, especially with the second part.
It's one of those things where like wrestling Twitter says was like, just because you don't like it or like it's not what you personally doesn't mean it's bad. Now the main event I wouldn't personally do either. I will take that 100% of the cows come home. But it's not bad. It's just not what I wanted or what I would ever do. But the actual build itself has been quite solid to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Darren Walker, £5. If needed mouthpiece for Mercedes, then TK should offer court bow.
This is crazy.
Well, no, actually, he's onto something. I guess if need a mouthpiece for Mercedes, then TK should offer court bow $1 million for Selena De La Renta. She's the best female promo in the business. I've actually been a fan of Selena De La Renta since like 2017, 18, bro, when she was first like an authority figure in MLW and stuff. She's a very good talker. She comes across very good. She has a good presence about her. Whether Tony Khan should pay $1 million for her is obviously a completely different question. But she's a very talented talker, and she would be good in that role. I do think. I think there's a few options for that role, to be honest.
I would do MVP.
That's a good option, but they're probably going to do Hurt Business, aren't they? So.
I would say Stokely wasn't doing so.
And if they really did need a mouthpiece, I would do MVP because the both of them together would be amazing. I would low-key even want to see her, and this is kind of a stretch, but my mind works weird. I would want to see her with like Don Callis.
The thing is with Don Callis is that I know everyone hates him now because of the way he shoehorns himself into storylines and stuff.
I would like to see it.
You're a sick woman. You are a sick woman.
Deranged.
I think.
I feel like if they did it right, It's either that or have her with the elite, but I don't want her with the elite.
No,
that's
don't say that.
I'm getting
be associated, interact on camera, but like full on with them. Nah.
Bro, she's gonna be with anyone. She needs like a real mouthpiece, bro. Like if you put her with the elite, like I love the elite and stuff, but it's like I don't look at like the Young Bucks and think, oh my god, they're great promos. You know, like they're not them guys. You know,
someone said Shane. Okay,
they actually might be that, funny enough.
But yeah, Don Callis is, like I said, you're a sick woman. But I guess so. Obviously, he worked with Kenny, like you said, like Mark said, like Kenny Omega's that good that he had people thinking Don Callis is a good like manager, and I do think like Don Callis did put in good performances at times. Like he can talk, bro, like, and he knows how to get heat, and he kind of knows how like storylines work. But I just think since leaving Kenny, his instincts have been like really bad in the sense of like the way that he shoehorns himself into like certain storylines and stuff like that, where it's like sometimes he just needs people to tell him like, no, you need to just do this. Like you're not the main character, you know. It's like when he's actually just being a manager and he's not trying to be like the focus of a feud and shit like that. I think he's actually a good performer, but it's just, you know, who's gonna tell him no if he's with Mercedes, he's gonna like. I don't know. Like he's just gonna like completely put the spotlight on himself, probably. You know,
because like being a manager is harder than a lot of people think. Being a good talker does not make you a good manager. You have to be able to generate the heat onto the people that you are trying to present to the audience, not have the heat come all the way down on you. And that's the problem with Callis, especially when the Callis family formed and when he was doing the feuds with Kenny and Jericho. You can't a wrestler manager feud doesn't work because you're the manager. You're gonna get your ass kicked regardless. It doesn't matter.
Oh, whatever, Monty. You did not have to highlight that.
That was kind of nuts. We love each other, but down Callis, that's a
winding down.
It was a hot take. I appreciate a hot take though because it gives us something to talk about. You know,
but Callis,
that
just
was
stay
a
in the
hot take.
background.
You know,
stop trying to be Diddy, be all up in the videos and shit. Just be in the background. Let the Keshta take the spotlight. Let Bruce take the spotlight because they're the ones actually in the ring and can do something about the words you say. You know what I mean? Just stay in the background, bro.
Darren Walker, £5. No, just done that.
I was like, you about to redo it.
Showtime Spurs, $2. Monty can't stand the Welsh. This is becoming WrestlePurist law at this point because it's like I remember when Clash at the Castle was in Cardiff, Wales, the one where Drew lost to Roman. And I was like, I ain't going fucking Wales, bro. Like, because people were asking me if I'm going Clash at the Castle. I ain't going Wales, bro. Fuck that. I'll wait for them to come to the UK, which they eventually did, and have been multiple times now. But yeah, man. It's funny because my mum-in-law, who my dad's just got married to very recently, she's from Cardiff, and it really wouldn't be like a hassle for me to go there. I just don't want to go Wales, bro.
So y'all like Wales? Y'all like Cardiff?
So it's not feeling.
Y'all like Gareth Bale?
Do you guys call your stepmom like your mom-in-law?
What is stepmom, mom-in-law? I don't know. It's all new to me, man. I never thought my dad was ever gonna get married, bro. He's Jamaican, isn't it? So it's like, if you know, you know. You know what I want? So if you know, you know. I never thought I'd see my dad get married, but he turned 60 this year, and I've now got a mom-in-law, stepmom. I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, forgive me. I'm stupid, you know. But yeah, my dad's new wife. Anyway, Mazvan 84 could Takeshita walk on to a D1 football team?
I'll take him at University of Florida right now. What's up? Come on, kids. Come down to the swamp. Come down to the games, but I'll show you around. I'll take you to the Salty Dog. I'll take you all around the city, bro. I got you. I'm your personal tour guide. We're gonna get you a brick. We're gonna get him a brick.
I was gonna say I don't know. We should ask Marcus, but he was ready. He was
ready to go.
Locked and loaded for that question.
Hey, bro, we won 6 games, man. We need somebody to come off the edge. Takeshita got it. Hit the Corvette with a power drive knee, man. We good.
All right, couple of chats off. Dunno. 199. This Double J career renaissance is beautiful.
Yeah,
he's the fact that he's like an actual notable part of a TV show in 2024 is quite astounding.
Scary depending on who you ask, though.
Yes.
Wishes. Oh my God, Goldberg wishes he could do what Jeff Jarrett does.
Not so much on Billy Goldberg.
You know how many people could have died in that ring if Goldberg even attempted what Jeff Jarrett did yesterday?
Hey, man. Some people wouldn't even want to
Casualties
die,
everywhere. And again, 199. Also, Mortos has to be the tallest looking 5'9" guy. There's definitely something to that, bro, because he doesn't like look small on TV. You know,
he's only 5'9".
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, he's around there 5'9", 5'10", I'd say. But he's so bulky and he's also strong, like physically strong looking. So I'm sure that all that helps. And he also is wearing a big black Taurus beast mask, which I guess is kind of a distraction too. You know,
there is a phrase I was used to describe how he carries himself as a short man, but I'm not gonna say it because it sounds crazy. I'm not gonna sound crazy on here.
My Burke is feeling crazy. Burke's definitely feeling crazy with 199 saying Hobbs versus Bobby. I'm foaming at the mouth. Foaming's crazy. But I hear the excitement though.
Two big black niggas in the ring just going crazy? What's up? Give me that. Big Lass versus Big Black and Jack?
I'm for that.
Who do you think? Right, I guess if you're on it now, just to close out, because it has been news this week, and even today with Bobby Lashley having I think Sean put out that there's at least interest from AEW, Japan, and even fighting promotions in Bobby Lashley. His WWE contract is up this week, and I guess we're all assuming he will end up in AEW. I don't think he's going to be doing any bare knuckle fighting or any bullshit like that.
No, you're poison, bro. We off that.
Nah, he's too valuable to wrestling still to be doing that bullshit, man. But who do you think, bro? Just gun to your head, who do you think Bobby Lashley's first feud will be with?
Oof.
Because I don't know, man. Like,
I don't know.
Like, is he going to feud with a faction with Shelton and MVP and someone else, maybe a Leo Rush or someone in the Hurt Business? You know,
that'd be gas.
Yeah, like, or is he going to come in as like a singles guy? Like, I'm here to fuck it up, you know.
What was Swerve's old, like, was it the Embassy?
Mogul Embassy.
Mogul Embassy.
Mogul Embassy. I would do Mogul Embassy versus Hurt Business.
But I would have the Cage of Agony or whatever the fuck they're called now.
No. Like, I would have like those two like groups like not like each other, but focus it with Bobby versus Swerve, because I would eat. I'm sorry,
I'd do that. I would do that if they didn't just break up in April. That's my thing.
I'm sorry. Can we highlight the comment that says Billy Gunn? Are you clinically insane?
I will send the black vans to your house right now, brother.
The FBI are on their way, base, if that's your real name, you know. Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh, hey, man.
Simeon's cooking. So for anyone who's just listening, Bobby Lashley feuding with Darby Allin would be cool. It'd be better than cool, bro.
Yes. Yes.
That would go crazy.
Like, if you're a guy coming in, or if you're someone like on the downslide, or just someone that's really fucking cool and just likes throwing people around, Darby Allin is the man you want to feud with. I'll bang down the doors to Tony Khan's office and say, "Give me Darby Allin now."
You know how crazy Darby would sell a spear?
Darby would kill. Well, Darby would die in the ring trying to.
He would throw himself into the nosebleeds selling a spear.
Darby's amazing. I love Darby so much, bro. Just give him this feud. I
don't know what needs to happen, but I need something to happen to him every year so that he doesn't go to Mount Everest. Because, like,
no, he ain't doing that now, bro.
He better not.
I don't think he's doing that now, man. I know Darby's crazy. You can't put nothing past him, but like when you plan to do fucking Everest like all year and then it don't happen, it's like you're gonna do all that again. Because I don't know, like
do not underestimate the tenacity.
That's what I'm saying. It's because it's Darby. Like that is literally only like. But I guess that was the only logic in why it would happen in the first place, bro. Because it's just Darby and he's just crazy. But I don't know, man.
Oh my God. If I may, Tony Khan, please. I tweet this every week. Can we fix the lighting in AEW?
You fixed the LEDs.
Like, I just want it to be like bright, because I feel like when it's like dark like that, it's like, and Sean Ross Sapp, courtesy of Fightful over there, homie, he said, you know, the ambiance, if it's drab, the people aren't gonna be into it. Like, girl, it's like 9 o'clock, and I'm like falling asleep. Let's fix it. Let's get colorful again, like production. And I do miss.
It's about playing it right, and you just gotta play it right. Like, you can do bright, but you don't want it to be like childish and shit, you know.
Like when WWE first went to HD, it was just like big and bright all the time.
I love that. I'm sorry, I loved it. It popped me.
It can be too much.
It can be, but there's a good balance to have with it.
Right, it's too dark right now. I'm like, girl, stop.
Like, yeah, I do need to be a little bit brighter.
No, the crowd lighting and stuff can still be improved. In terms of changing the barricades, the classic barricades instead of LED ones, I like that change.
I love that.
The color scheme isn't my favorite, but I don't really have a great suggestion right now. Yeah, man, they're still trying. Like, it's kind of crazy to me. Again, like 5 years in, and they're still like tweak the way that the shows look. Like, it's like, bro, you should have like your style nailed down by now, you know.
That part.
But what I was gonna say about Derby. Oh yeah, I don't know if this was. I think it was a hot take at the time, because people were always like, "Oh, let people just do what they want." But it's like, bro, if I was Tony Khan, I'm not letting Darby, one of my top stars, come to me and say, "Oh, bro, I'm climbing Everest." No, you're not. Like, are you fucking crazy, bro? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
it's like, bro, like, imagine Trevor Lawrence going up to the Cons right now and say, "Guys, I want to climb Mount Everest." No, it's in your contract. You can't do shit like this.
I can't even believe that was like a possibility. Like,
I do think it's crazy. No, if he goes into free agency and he's like, "Yo, I'm doing this, and when I come back, can you sign me again?" He's like, "Yeah, if you survive, obviously. Like, I can't tell you what to do. You're a free agent. You know what I'm saying?
You'll work for me,
contracted to me. You're coming to me, telling me I'm one of my top stars, one of my very best wrestlers. Like, yeah, man, I'm gonna be gone for 6 months or however fucking long it takes to climb Mount Everest. But absolutely no chance in hell is that happening. Like, no way. But you know, God bless. And I think we're finishing up, man. I think we're finished. So all right, so today's Thursday. Tomorrow we have a special Stardom 5-star tournament preview, which will be, it's going to be an early one, I think. So it's going to be mainly for our European folks. Though I'm going to announce it like within an hour, I think, so people have kind of like, they can know ahead of time what time it's going to be on tomorrow. Because like I said, it's probably going to be an early one. But yeah, 5-star preview tomorrow for all our Stardom and Joshi fans. And so yeah, make sure you tapped in for that. Gonna try and do a WrestlePurists podcast this Sunday as well, so keep an eye out on our page for that as well. And yeah, man, thanks for watching. Thanks for all the super chats. Please like and subscribe on your way out. That helps us massively. If you're watching this on, what do you call it, on demand or after the stream, please leave a comment. Leave a comment or whatever. And yeah, man, for myself, Marcus, Jenna, we appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.